Hi church, my name's Ben. I go to the 10 a.m. and the 3:30 p.m. services. And today I just wanted to continue reading through Exodus chapter 15 about the Song of Freedom that Moses sings. The Song of Freedom is the song that Moses sings to God in praise, in an outpouring of worship to him after seeing what God had just done for Moses and the people of Israel in bringing them out of Egypt and away from the Egyptians in an escape through the Red Sea, parting the waters. The verses that I'll read today are quite powerful words, very powerful language Moses uses in this. It's appropriately powerful because our God is a very powerful God, but it also is very upfront about what happens to Moses' enemies. Read with me verses 6 to 10 in the book of Exodus in chapter 15. Your right hand, Lord, was majestic in power. Your right hand, Lord, shattered the enemy. In the greatness of your majesty, you threw down those who opposed you. You unleashed your burning anger. It consumed them like stubble. By the blast of your nostrils, the waters piled up. The surging waters stood up like a wall. The deep waters congealed in the heart of the sea. The enemy boasted, I will pursue, I will overtake them. I will divide the spoils. I will gorge myself on them. I will draw my sword, and my hand will destroy them. But you blew with your breath, and the sea covered them. They sank like lead in the mighty waters. Moses uses very powerful language in these 4 verses of the song. He talks about the Lord's hand being majestic in power and shattering the enemy. He talks about how God blew his breath and he covered his enemies and they sank in the water. God's burning anger consumed them like stubble. We love to talk about the love of God and how God is love and how he protects us, but God is a righteous God and a jealous God, and he will protect his people. The power that Moses is talking about that our God has is unrivaled. We have to understand that when you oppose God, you don't have a chance. But when you're on his side, you have nothing to worry about. When singing these in an outpouring of praise, I think Moses understood the power that our God has, that he would have been trembling at the power of God. But because Moses was on God's side, he was safe. Listen to the words of Moses' enemies. I will pursue, I will overtake them, I will divide the spoils, I will gorge myself on them, I will draw my sword, and my hand will destroy them. It's such prideful, arrogant language, particularly when they are talking about being in competition with God. Humans will never find themselves equal with God. Moses followed God's command, and you can read about it in chapter 14. But after it happens, and it's clearly a miracle how God separated the waters with his breath, after being led through that, that's what drew Moses to this position, to sing out in praises with these words to our God. One thing that I'm going to take away from these verses is the way that Moses clearly recognizes God's power. I know it's so easy for us to forget about God's power, about what he's done for us in our life, but also to forget what he's done for his people in the scriptures. I'm going to try and make an effort to recognize the power that God has and to express that through prayer and my praises to Him.